Hello and welcome. This presentation is designed to introduce you to your school's speech language pathologist. You might know me as a speech language pathologist or an SLP. I provide related health services at this school to students who meet the State Department of Education's qualification for speech and language impairment services. A student who qualifies for this eligibility has one or more of the following areas of communication deficits: language development, vocal abuse, speech sound development, fluency, or stuttering.
Before we go any further, I'd like to tell you more about us. There are important qualifications that we must possess so that we can work with individuals with speech and language impairments. First, we have a minimum of a master's degree in communication science disorders and have passed the National Praxis Exam in speech language pathology. Secondly, we can possess a variety of this state's licensure types, such as the Department of Education certificate and this state's license for speech language pathology. However, to be considered a certified speech language pathologist, we must possess a certification from the American Speech Language Hearing Association, known as the Certificate of Clinical Competency. We achieve this licensure status after we have completed 36 weeks and 1,260-hour mentorship under a previously certified speech language pathologist.
Since we work with students who receive special education services, our scope of practice as speech language pathologists is determined by the Department of Education. The DOE defines a speech or language impairment as a congenital or acquired disability and must adversely affect a child's educational performance. Students may also demonstrate one or any combination of speech or language impairment.
We have many roles to fulfill here at this school. Besides providing services to speech language impaired eligible students, we participate on a variety of special education teams. We can be a student's team leader or case manager if the speech language impairment is the student's primary disability. In this instance, we are responsible for completion of paperwork following the district's mandated timelines, coordination of other related services, and implementation of services. We can also be a participant on a special education student's team as a support member when the student's primary diagnosis is not speech language impaired, but a secondary or tertiary diagnosis. We can also participate on a student support team when the student is participating in pre-special education response to intervention services.
Of course, like many of you, we have other responsibilities here at the school. Did you know that we can assist you in developing and implementing differentiation of instructions? We can also participate in other duties as assigned by the principal, such as hall, lunch, or bus duty, act as a testing monitor, or participate in tutoring duties. As another part of our responsibilities, our scope of practice includes evaluating students who have unsuccessfully participated in the student support response to intervention process for possible entry into special educational services.
After a student has not succeeded in the response to intervention process, the student's support team determines a need for special education testing. As speech language pathologists, there are important questions that we are responsible for answering. 1. Is there a presence or absence of a speech language impairment based on the rules and regulations set forth by the Department of Education? 2. If there is a presence of a speech language impairment, is there evidence of an adverse effect on the student's educational performance? And finally, if needed after testing, the team decides which eligibility best describes the student's deficits and the order of diagnoses to determine primary and secondary eligibilities based on the student's need to access the curriculum.
Now that we have shared with you some of the roles and responsibilities that you may not have known that we participate in, we would like to share with you about what all is included when we provide intervention services. First and foremost, service delivery is tailored to each student's individual needs based on a team decision. Within the decision-making process, a couple of questions need to be answered. What is the least restrictive environment and the best instructional style that we can provide for our services, such as classroom push-in or pull-out, small group, collaborative, or direct services, or some other combination of these models. Also, what is the frequency and intensity of provided services so maximum positive results can be gained and the least amount of absence from the general educational curriculum is missed? Once all these questions have been answered, therapy actually begins. Therapeutic techniques vary based on the student's age, types and severities of disabilities, and chosen instructional style.
As your school's speech language pathologist, I would be happy to discuss any further questions you may have about what I can do for you.